Well, welcome everyone to the Wednesday product science discussion, answer your questions Zoom. I'm Stephen Cherniske, a research biochemist. I was taught clinical nutrition for two universities in California and ran the nation's first FDA licensed clinical lab for nutrition and immunology. I was also the chief science officer of five different companies in the nutrition arena. So I've got one foot on the academic side and one foot on the natural product side. So with that kind of information and that kind of experience, I think there's a lot that I bring to this experience for you all. Natalie, my beloved wife.
We recently became scientific advisory board members for Zinzino, and we're just really excited about the science. I am double boarded in family medicine, anti-aging medicine with a metabolic medicine focus, and also specialize in hormone balancing. And so as we were looking at these products, we were really excited about test-based nutrition and what that means for this important health movement going forward.
Yeah. The idea of this call is to help you, number one, answer any questions that are coming at you from the people that you talk to. And number two, answer any questions that you might have personally. And not that we want to be your medical providers, but when it comes to answering the questions about the products, we're your go team. And in that regards, we talk a lot about science that may be a little bit confusing or too academic for you. So I want to remind everybody of this wonderful tool you have called Perplexity. It's free, Perplexity. Write that down. Use it whenever you find that you need something to be explained to you. Because tonight, for example, we're going to be talking about some clinical trials. I'm sorry, some research that's been published having to do with Zinzino products, specifically the polyphenols in the olive oil. And so you might not even know if you're new here. What is a polyphenol? How do I deal with all this information that Stephen and Natalie are giving me? Well, number one, here's why we're giving it to you. We're not wanting you to become biochemists. We are wanting you to be grounded firmly in the value of this company's line. Zinzino is a remarkable company. They are science-based, unlike other companies that are just basically out there scamming and making stuff up. Zinzino has a solid foundation of science, and that science is published in peer-reviewed biomedical literature. That science is backed by patents, international patents. So with that kind of powerful asset that you have, we want to make sure that you're fully grounded in that. And remember, here's another pitch for Perplexity. If we show you a study that's been published in a medical journal, and you're curious as to exactly how that works, how does the polyphenols in olive reduce DNA damage? Because you think to yourself, hey, if I can reduce DNA damage, that would be a really good thing. So you think, oh, I want to look into this further. Well, you go to the resources that we're going to provide. And what happens if you get two sentences in and you're like, I don't know if I can't understand this. Go to Perplexity. Tell Perplexity to pull up the study and then say something as simple as, summarize this for me. And Perplexity will summarize it for you in 30 seconds. And then you can read the summary and you can say, Perplexity, simplify this. Boom, 10 seconds later, you have a simplified version of the summary. And you can say, Perplexity, I need this in apple and orange language that any 10-year-old would understand. Boom, it's there right in front of you. So with those kind of resources tailored to your precise needs, we should all be able to really feel grounded in the most important way when we understand how important this is for ourselves, for our family, and for everyone that we talk to.
Do you remember the link that people have to go to or the URL in order to download Perplexity?
Perplexity.ai.
Please talk to us, Stephen, about olive polyphenols. When we think about the ingredients in this cutting edge product, which is so important that it gets us into the safe zone, this is not fish oil. This is
Mediterranean diet.
Mediterranean, thank you, because it has olive oil, olive polyphenols that come from pre-harvest olives, so that there's a higher amount of polyphenols like the hydrotyrosol, and omega-3 fatty acids, EPA, DHA,
EPA.
thank you. And this gets us to where we need to be in our balance test,
Yeah.
and to stay there.
And to stay there. So imagine people ask, well, why do you put polyphenols in fish oil? Well, and the answer is, hey, imagine you're a fish swimming in the water, and what are you eating? The fish are eating aquatic plants, they're eating algae, and they're eating plankton. And so inherent in the fish are two things. Number one is the fish oil. Yes, and that's wonderful because that's all your omega-3 fats. But the polyphenols that were there originally, and part of the original research that was done on Inuits and other Arctic populations, those are stripped away in the processing of the fish oil. Now, you can understand, why do you process fish oil? Well, you have to remove the PCBs, the mercury, and the microplastics. So because no one wants to be taking fish oil that's unpurified. So every reputable company starts with purified fish oil. But only Zinzino has found a way to bind those polyphenols to the omega-3 fats to produce something remarkably different than just plain fish oil. These polyphenols, the binding of the polyphenols with the fish oil is a patented process. So you're not going to see other people doing that anytime soon because they would be stepping on our patents. So with that in mind, what are these polyphenols and what are they doing and why are we getting them from olives? Well, really good reason. If you'll look at the screen here, and again, I remember my students' reaction when I would put up a slide like this. They would scramble for their pens and their papers, and they would be writing things down because they knew it was going to be on the test. And the vibe in the room definitely goes down. Not going to happen here because I'm going to simplify all this for you. All I want you to know from this. Now, if you want to take a screenshot of this, or you want to just take your cell phone and take a picture of it, be my guest. Plasma lipoproteins, right? So what are you looking at there, right? I'm going to make this real simple, straightforward. You got HDL up. So your HDL is going to increase.
That's the good cholesterol.
This is the good cholesterol.
H
right?
is for heavenly, not just high density lipoprotein.
Your LDLs, right, are going to go down. Your triglycerides are going to go down. These are all wonderful effects that have a phenomenal benefit on your blood viscosity, on the how much cholesterol and what kind of cholesterol is in your blood. So that's happening when you consume polyphenols from olive oil. Markers of platelet function. Let's take a look at that now. Now, why is this so important? See this one right here, platelet aggregation. That means platelets are the reason why when you cut yourself, your blood clots, right? You cut yourself, you stop bleeding. Why? Because the platelets, and under a microscope, they're incredibly exciting because they're normally these little saucer-shaped cells, billions of them floating in your blood. And as soon as there's a break, as soon as there's an injury or a cut, there's an alarm that goes off. Report to Sector 5, we have a leak, right? So you're bleeding. So all of a sudden, these platelets rush to Sector 5, right? Whether it's on your finger, your arm, your back, your leg, doesn't matter. And what happens to those little saucer-shaped cells? They transform into what's called a spiny sphere. And that means that they stick to each other and they form a clot and you stop bleeding. Yay!
And when we have a scab on our skin, that's what it's made of.
Now, what happens if that spiny sphere transformation happens when it shouldn't? Ooh, now you have something called an abnormal clot. Well, look at this. Platelet aggregation is reduced. So the tendency to form an abnormal clot is dramatically reduced. Now let's go down to microbial activity. All right. The olive oil, obviously the polyphenols, which have a powerful antioxidant activity, but also an antimicrobial activity. That's next. Now, markers of oxidation.
So it has some immunity.
It has direct immune activity. Now, at the same time, markers of oxidation. Where is oxidation? Now, remember, the damaging forces in your body, there are basically four: inflammation, oxidation, wear and tear, and infection. That's pretty much all the damage that you're going to experience in this life. So we want to make sure that our levels of oxidation are reduced. And here they all are. The most important one that I want to talk to you about is all of these reactive oxygen species are all going down. Isoprostanes are going down, which is good. DNA oxidation. Ooh, imagine if you could reduce DNA damage. Well, you can. And then what do we have down here? Glutathione. So now glutathione is going up, which is the master antioxidant of your body.
Well, he's the guard that stands next to the DNA.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh la la. I love when you talk like that. Markers of cellular function. Deregulated cell proliferation goes down. Now, why is that important? And again, we're not talking about treating or preventing a disease. All right. We're talking about establishing homeostasis, where everything is the way it's supposed to function, the way it's supposed to function. And when you have deregulated cell proliferation, that is cells dividing in a way that they're not supposed to divide, you can probably tell where I'm going with that, on what a wonderful thing that is to repair dysregulated cells.
So
Now,
that includes killing zombie cells.
that includes killing zombie cells, right? And then finally, we look over here at inflammation, which is my main concern for the last 22 years. And all of these nasty inflammatory proteins are all reduced when you consume olive oil phenolic compounds. Bone health. Look at that. Who would have imagined? I wouldn't have imagined until I read this. I didn't know the effect that omega-3 fats and olive polyphenols have on bone health. So here's the real short story. You are constantly rebuilding your skeleton. All right. And it is a process of tearing down and rebuilding and tearing down and rebuilding, tearing. It's like the maintenance crew on the road outside your driveway, right? They're going to look at potholes and they're going to scoop out the potholes. They're going to fill it in with new cement or macadam. And that's the way they're going to fix your roads. Well, your body is doing the same thing constantly in your bones. But guess what? That doesn't happen as we get older. That whole process, the people that are coming along scooping out the potholes, they show up, but the guys that are supposed to fill it in, they're lazy. They're called osteoblasts, and they get lazy. So what do we know about bone health and olive polyphenols? It improves, it wakes up the osteoblasts to say, hey, get to work, build bone. And that's how that benefits you, again, from consuming the polyphenols here, the polyphenols here, right? And the polyphenols here.
In Revo. Yeah.
Revo is called revolutionary extra virgin olive oil, and it's revolutionary because it contains
30 times the amount of polyphenols found in regular olive oil,
right.
Extra virgin olive oil.
So you go to Costco, you can buy extra virgin olive oil, but this has got 30 times the polyphenols compared to what you would get at Costco.
It tastes really good.
It tastes really good. All right. Any questions about olive polyphenols? Or did you all just go, ah? All right.
Hopefully it's just building your confidence and why you should be taking your balance oil or
Building
scent
confidence. That's the name.
every day.
That's the
Every
name.
day.